Hi friends, I am back with another chatty work video. You all seemed to enjoy it last time, had a lot of positive comments, so I'm back with another one. Welcome back to the dungeon. If you are a returning viewer slash friend, then you will familiarize yourself with the dungeon. I feel like the angle is all off here, but hopefully you'll enjoy my chatting in the background as we get some work together. As you can tell by my nightgown, I got dressed for this very special occasion. Today's Sunday and I'm wearing my Saturday and Sunday pajama. Today's a working day. I do a lot of my eBay work on Sundays. Now, I happen to have the good fortune of living next to people who think that I want to listen to their music all day. And so there is music blasting in the background, but I did a little test run and I don't hear it in the video. So hopefully you will not, but if you do, my apologies. I'm just going to try to keep rambling the whole time so that you won't hear it in the background. For those of you who are new, my name is Angela and I have been reselling on eBay for quite some time, about 15 years to be exact. I am what you call a bread and butter reseller, and I like to take you along on my journey and hopefully evolution as I grow and become an even better bread and butter seller than I was before, because every day I'm learning something new. So today I am just doing my ironing, my prepping. I will take a bunch of pictures because today's Sunday and that's when I get the bulk of my eBay work done. What I'll do is on Sundays, I take as many pictures as I can, iron, of course, whatever needs to be ironed, and take as many pictures as I can, prepping them to get photographed. And then throughout the week is when I do my listing. And you may wonder how many listings I do per day. Let me give you a little stats on my store first of all, though. So I actually have at any given time on eBay, and I sell on eBay and Poshmark, but I'm usually talking about eBay mostly on these videos. On eBay at any given time, I usually have between 1,000 and 1,200 items listed at any given time. And my average that I post items up for is $13 to like $25, right? And as we have evolved together and as you have been watching my videos, I like to think that I'm getting a little better at leaning more towards those $20 to $25 items. It doesn't always work out that way. And if you are a bread and butter seller, you know what I mean. So I am trying to move away from those $13 items. It's a little rough. So I have to say that lately I am feeling I just want to say frustrated, right? I want to say that I was talking about stats and you see how I lost track of what I was saying that fast. So about 1,000 to 1,200 items at any given time, most items between $13 and $25. Prior, my business model, I guess you would call it, is that I would, and a lot of the stuff that I'm ironing, you have seen it in videos already, in my haul videos, or you will see them. So I'm not going to like tell you what I have here. And I have done like some what sold videos, and I have posted some numbers before on what I make throughout the month. But I would say that the majority of my items are sitting about 1.5 years, right? And I am desperately lately just starting to feel a little, what's the word that I'm looking for? I'm just feeling overwhelmed with the amount of items that I have. I have this office here that you can see is a nightmare. But then I also have a basement, and my husband built me a shelving unit. That holds about 1, 2, 3. It's 3 shelves, 3 layers, and there's about 6 bins on each of those. So you can do the math there. And I also have bins like on the floor in front of that. So it is just lately, I just feel completely overwhelmed with the amount of items that I have. And so it's clear to me that I have just made a lot of bad buys. And I did a video one time on things that I was donating, but I've done a lot of bad buys. And my hope is that with these videos, as you watch me doing my haul videos, right, that you will learn some things from me. Because, you know, if you're not living like in California, I feel like, or if you don't live in an area where you can get those highly desired items, then really, I mean, you're going to be a bread and butter seller for the most part. And I think that's what a lot of us are. We're just making the best of what we have. But I'm hoping that with these videos that you will be a better bread and butter seller than I have been in the past. Because what's happening of late is that I feel like I just have so many items that just are not moving. And another stat is that I want to say I sell about 2 items per day on average. There have been the rare days when I have sold 5 items, and there are plenty of days where I sell 0 items, but I would say about 2 to 3 items per day. Now that's a low number, friends, for me anyway. It feels very low. And I think that is indicative of the fact that I don't have the high demand items, right? But that doesn't mean that I can't do better in the future when finding things that people want to buy. And that's difficult when you're a bread and butter seller. So what has happened throughout these years is that on top of living in an area where I can't really find, you know, those high demand items, what's also happening is that I work. You know, I do have a full-time job. I do this part-time. And I can't get out on Saturdays. I work like every other Saturday. But I just got a promotion and I am not going to be working every Saturday, at least for the immediate future. And that is right in time for summer or right in time for yard sales. But I have to say that I'm not as excited as I thought I would be. I have been in this industry for probably 15 years. I've been in my industry, and I have worked Saturdays pretty much the whole way through. And I feel like I finally have come to a point where I got that position where, you know, I don't have to work on Saturdays. And I thought that I would be a lot happier than I am, and I am happy and I am grateful. But it comes at a time when I am feeling just overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that I have and the fact that it is not moving. It's just not moving as fast as I want it to. And so I have gotten much better now at, you know, I don't come home with as much stuff as I used to from yard sales. Now, previously for many years, my main source of finding inventory was Goodwill Dollar Day, right? And I am lucky because my Dollar Day is still actually a dollar day. And I have heard of some Goodwills have raised it now to $2, or they're just trying different methods to make more money, of course. So I am lucky in that I do still have Dollar Day. And so the majority of my inventory throughout the years has come from the Goodwill Dollar Days. Because again, I was working Saturdays. I couldn't really make it to all the yard sales. And so I'm not knocking it, friends. You know, I have made thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars going to Goodwill Dollar Day. You know, I can't knock it. If that's what you're doing, hey, you know, it worked for me at that time. But what happened is that when you're a bread and butter seller, when you can't get those great brands that other people are getting, you go to that Goodwill Dollar Day, or you go to your local thrift store and you pick up whatever you can out of what I would like to call desperation and or a fear that you are not going to have enough inventory. I did it for years, friends. I'm not knocking you, but I want to caution you, if that is your strategy, that you're just picking up anything that you can make maybe $6 on or $7 on, please be careful, because that is what I did for years. And I am now at a point where I feel like this clothing is suffocating me. I have so much stuff. And so I have been racking my brain, friends, trying to figure out a way, trying to figure out ways to get rid of some of this inventory, right, without taking a major loss. And the way that I have been doing that, I've tried several different methods, and none of them really seem to be getting rid of stuff as fast as I can. So I do, Facebook has they have several groups for resellers to basically offload, you know, their stuff. And these groups, a lot of them popped up during that, the C word, when people were stuck in the house and everything. And they couldn't really get inventory because everything was closed. So a lot of these groups popped up and I joined. And you can go there and you can basically offload your inventory. And you can sell it to other resellers, I guess, or regular other people who just want to go shopping in like a virtual thrift yard sale type situation. So I'm on that group and I have done several purges and I've made a few dollars. You know, I don't want to say I haven't made really profit, but I have been able to offload some of my poor decisions there. The lighting in here is just so bad. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can make it a little brighter in here. Okay, yeah, guess not. Guess not. It's kind of cloudy outside. So I've been on there and I have done a few purges and I've gotten rid of some stuff. You know, I haven't made any profit. The amount of work is like a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of work just to make your money back. So I've done those purges. That's one way that I try to offload the inventory. I have also taken bags to Plato's Thrift. And if you're not familiar with Plato's Thrift, it's basically a buy, sell, trade store that I have in my area. I've taken things there. I have never had luck with Plato's Closet. I could take 2 gigantic bags and they've never purchased more than like 10 items from me. And I thought that it was because of the style of clothes. I sell like more mature women's stuff for the most part. Maybe they're looking for juniors, but I actually sent in a bunch of shorts like Abercrombie, Aeropostale shorts recently, and they really didn't buy any of them. So I've tried the purging on the Facebook groups. I have tried taking this stuff to the buy, sell, trade stores, nothing, or without spectacular results. What else have I tried? I post on my personal Facebook page fairly often. I actually did a live on my personal Facebook page yesterday to sell used clothing. Now, don't get me wrong. I do sell a decent amount of stuff just on Facebook. But mostly like household goods, beauty items. I do have friends who will buy that stuff. And I don't have a lot of friends. I have maybe like 200 friends on Facebook. But there's this one girl who lives around the corner from me and she like buys a lot of stuff from me. She's like funding my lifestyle. So I do have luck selling like household goods and things like that. But the clothing live, like the used clothing, I didn't do well with that. I did that yesterday and that didn't really produce any results. And so those are the 3 things that I have tried. Obviously, I like sell similar, I relist, I end it, I put it back on. And this stuff just is not moving, friends. And so the only other thing that I can think of to do is to go to our local farmer's market. Now, we used to do this, my husband and I, years ago, we used to do this. We used to go to the farmer's market, and he had a truck back then, though. He doesn't have a truck anymore, but we do have 2 cars now. And we would go to the farmer's market, and it was always like mixed results. Now, the farmer's markets that we go to, they charge around, like, I want to say, it used to be like I said, it's been years, but it used to be like $35 to $50 for a table for one day. And we would go there, and it was for me, mixed results. You know, we would go one weekend and we would make $300 or $400. We would go the next weekend and we would make $50. So very hit or miss with the farmer's market. And I have been there shopping a few times in the last few years. And I noticed that a lot of people don't even sell, like back in the day, you would go to those farmer's markets, big flea markets or whatever, and you could find clothes for $1 there. And that has changed. The last few times that I've been to the farmer's market, you will be hard pressed to find any used clothing less than $2, right? So the market for buyers has changed with that. And I don't know if that is a good thing or a bad thing if and when I go to sell, because that's where I feel like it's leading up to, is that I'm just going to have to go to a flea market and offload this stuff for $1 or $2 a piece, just try to make my money back. And if that doesn't work, whatever doesn't sell there will just be getting donated. Now, just over about a year ago, I did a huge purge where I donated hundreds of items, right? Now, remember I said that I was paying about $1 per item back then. So $1 doesn't seem like a lot of money, but when you are donating 300 items that you paid $1 for, that's $300 that you basically wasted. And I feel like it's coming to the point now that that's what's going to end up happening, is that I'm just going to end up donating a lot of the stuff. Now, I know that there are some people, I've heard people say, oh, it's no big deal if you donate, just write it off on your taxes. Now, I guess it depends on the way that you do your taxes, how you have your business structured, whether you have an EIN, all that good stuff. I don't know much about taxes. What I do know is that when I tried in the past to write off my donations, it really did not affect how much I owed or how much I got back. So I don't know if I do my own taxes. That could be part of the issue. But I've been doing my own taxes for years, and I'm pretty good at it. And I have never noticed much of a difference in my taxes when I donate items. So donating items, it makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside, but I'm losing money and I can't like write them off. So that's just where I am with the whole reselling thing, is that I just can see that I made a bunch of poor decisions, and I'm hoping that by watching my videos that we will, all of us, get better at not just picking up things because they're $1. By all means, go to Dollar Day. By all means, pick up those dollar items. But I really want to caution you, this is a cautionary tale, to look at the follow through. Now, if you are okay with that business model, like I had been for many years, of just, whatever you can make $3 or $4 on, go ahead and grab it. That's fine. If you have the space for it, that's fine. It worked for me for many years. But that's the thing about life. Times change. The way we feel changes. The way we do things. It changes with time. And that model, it just is not working for me anymore. I have way too much stuff. But with that being said, switching topics, I watch the same resellers pretty much over and over again. I like the same people. I watch them. And every now and then, I will find myself checking out somebody new, right, who does these videos, resellers. And I stumbled upon one the other day that reminded me why I stick to the same people over and over again. So you will find in this reselling community, if you watch other people, a lot of what I like to call negativity, right? And I'm not that toxic positivity person, right? I don't think that you need to be happy all the time. You can vent, you can get frustrated. The reselling life is hard. It's not for the weak, especially if your bills and your mortgage and your car payment depends upon this. Then you're going to get frustrated and it's hard. But when I go and watch videos of other resellers, and they are just complaining about everything that has to do with eBay. They hate eBay. I mean, they hate it. They hate the fees, and they hate the returns, and they hate this and they hate that. And I came across this one guy that was basically saying that eBay is a pay-to-play platform now, right? Is he right? Is he wrong? I don't know. If he is right, and maybe he is right, you have to understand that throughout the years, eBay has changed, right? And if you're going to be in the reselling world, then you have to adapt or die. It's that simple. Adapt with the changes or go out of business, right? And what people seem to fail to realize is that we are visiting, this is just my opinion, you may disagree in the comments. I am on eBay's platform, right? I don't own eBay. This was not my concept. I did not create it. I am on their platform. And when I am on their platform, I am abiding by their rules. And if I don't like their rules, if I don't like the way they are doing things, there are other platforms that I could be on. But all I hear are people, they just complain and complain about the promoted listings, and they're not getting business because they don't want to pay for the promoted listings. Me personally, I have not noticed any difference at all. I do not promote really anything unless it's like a higher priced item. I personally do not, I just don't. I very rarely promote anything, and I have not noticed any significant difference in my sales. Would I notice a significant difference if I started paying for promoted listings? I could. Or I could just lower my item price by a few dollars, and that would draw more people in, I think. But if you watch these people, you know, I'm not going to say that it's all like fantastic and stuff, and that's not really the goal of my channel or what I do. And I will, you know, I have my complaints occasionally, but I will not come on here complaining every single video about how much I hate eBay. It's no different than people who work at retail stores or any other job. You go in there and these people are completely miserable. They have an attitude with you when you are spending money at their establishment or where they work. You're spending your hard-earned money there, and they're giving you lip and they're giving you attitude because they don't want to be there, because they hate their job. Get another job. Get another job if you don't like it. And the same thing goes for eBay. If you don't like the way, if you don't like their business structure, if you don't like the way that eBay wants you to pay for promoted listings, and you have an attitude about it and you're not happy about it, you're funneling all that negative energy into your reselling business. Okay, I know, here we go with the new age crap. I get it. I like selling on eBay. If I didn't like selling on eBay, I wouldn't be there. There have been times when I didn't agree with the way that they did things. It's their business. They get to make money however they want to. People seem to forget that eBay is a business. And eBay is not here, I don't think, in my opinion, to cater to you. They're not. They have to make business decisions based on money, period. So I try to take the emotion out of this. And should eBay treat their sellers a little better? Yes, especially the whole return situation. I absolutely do not agree with the way that they handle things as far as returns go. But again, if I was that pissed off at eBay, I wouldn't be selling here. I would go and find me another platform. I wouldn't be making YouTube videos every week talking about how much I hate eBay and I hate their business structure. They are a for-profit business, friends. I don't know what to tell you. And any good business, their goal is to make more profits year after year. Just is what it is. It just is what it is. Overall, I have been mostly happy. I have made not a living, but I have made a lot of money on eBay. I'm not going to bite the hand that feeds me, baby. That's not how I'm going to do things. And I've had dry spells. I talked about it on some of my videos. There was a time when I went like 2 months and I was like, it's over. Like it's over. It finally happened. The moment that we've all been waiting for. eBay has crashed. It's dead. I'm not going to make any more money. And then it ended up turning around and things are back to normal. So those scary times come. And even at that time, I wasn't mad at eBay. I just had to strategize and say, what am I going to do? How am I going to make more money? And things of that nature. But these are the same people complaining about eBay, griping about eBay, how much they hate it, who think that they have all the answers. And that gets under my skin, friends. Like, what even is this? Sometimes I just buy things. Okay, I guess. And you'll find these people, I don't know if you've noticed on some of these channels that there are some people who tend to think that they have all the answers. Now, I will never come on here. I come and I try to give you advice when I can, how I can. I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything. But you will find a lot of times some of these eBayers and resellers, they seem to think that they have all the answers, friends. Talk about a big ego. And they basically laugh at your business model. If you are a bread and butter seller, they're constantly telling you, oh, you're picking up the wrong stuff. Well, guess what? I know that I'm picking up the wrong stuff, but it's what I have available to me, right? So I am making lemonade out of lemons. And they just will constantly just talk about the way that you run your business. And there are people who insist that you absolutely have to take returns. And if you don't take returns, you're stupid. If you don't take returns, you're dumb. You don't know how to run a business. I know how to run a business. I sure do. Just because I don't run a business like you doesn't mean that I don't know how to run a business. I run my business the way that I want to run my business, friends. And I encourage you to do the same. It's okay to watch, eBay sellers. It's okay to get tips and tricks and learn from them and stuff. But don't let people shame you. Other resellers shame you into thinking that you're just dumb and you don't know what you're doing if you don't ship within one day, if you don't offer returns. Guess what? Surprise here, friends. I do none of the above. I don't ship within one day. And believe it or not, I'm grandfathered in. So I actually have a 5-day handling time. Y'all heard it. And some of y'all probably gasped when I said it. And I know that it is shocking. It's going to be shocking to some people that I have a 5-day handling time. Now, new sellers, I don't think that newer sellers get that option. But again, I've been on eBay for like 15 years. So I get the option to do a 5-day handling time. And that's what I do. Now, does it take me 5 days to ship? Rarely. Very, very rarely does it take me 5 days to ship something out. There have been occasions in the past where something came up. But I would say 90% of the time, 95% of the time, I get my stuff out in 1 to 3 days max, right? But I'm not going to set my handling time up for 1-day handling when I know that I work full time. And then there's going to be people, oh, that's just excuses. You're not working hard enough. That's fine. It's my money. It's my life. I'm going to do what I want on my terms. And I don't let people tell me how to run my business or shame me into thinking that I have to ship things out in 1 day. Nor should you put that pressure on yourself, in my opinion. Run your business how you want to. In my opinion, depending on your business model and your structure, I personally don't think, I personally would not do a 1-day handling time unless you are 100% positive that you can get to that post office every single day. I'm not putting that type of pressure on myself for a $10 shirt, friends. The type of stuff that I sell, stuff that costs $15. Who is going to be hurt if they don't get their $15 shirt in 2 days? Who? I'm not going to be hurt. I buy stuff on eBay all the time. And sometimes it takes a week to get to me. So what? It's a shirt, for God's sake. Like, be serious. So I just personally don't. I guess if you're selling time sensitive stuff, then by all means. And if you know that you can get to the post office every single day, do it. Do it. It might improve your sales. I don't know. I know people who have 1-day handling time, and then they will turn around and complain because their metrics have gone down. I'm not putting that type of pressure on myself. I just refuse to do it. This is a part-time gig for me. If you're full-time, then sure, by all means. Same thing with returns, right? So I know people who do the free returns. Do they make more money than me? Gross. They gross more than me. I don't know what the numbers would look like when you look at their net. And people seem to forget that. You'll see people post what they made. I don't know. Is this video negative? I feel like I'm being negative here because I'm talking about... These are just my opinions, okay? It's chatty work. I'm just yapping right now. But I do know people who do, the returns. And, and they will screenshot their gross of what they made on eBay. And bread and butter sellers like you and I, we can look at those numbers and we can feel like we're doing something wrong, and we can feel like, oh, I wish I made as much money as that, right? Because we look at it from the outside. And you have to understand that just because somebody is grossing $50,000, that does not mean that they made $50,000, okay? And I think that a lot of people truly do not understand the difference between gross and net. So all I'm saying is, as bread and butter sellers, you have to find what works for you. And don't let people who can go in the store on any given Tuesday and find a Chanel purse tell you how to run your bread and butter business. Y'all follow me so far? Don't allow other people to make you think that you are doing something wrong. Experiment with it. If you want to experiment with different methods, if you want to do the free returns, by all means, do it. Me, shocker, I don't allow returns. And I know that there will be a comment that tells me that there is no such thing as no returns on eBay. And I just want to tell you that that is 100% completely false. I decline returns. I've done it before with absolutely no repercussions. And there are times that even though I have no returns in my store, if somebody gets that shirt and, you know, they message me in a day or two and say, this shirt doesn't fit me, is there any way I can return it? There's a 50-50 chance. There have been times when I've done the return. You know, I feel bad because it doesn't fit them. And they reach out to me and they really don't like it. And I feel bad. And I just tell them, I'm like, you know, I will, as a courtesy, take this return this time. But you are going to be responsible for return shipping. And sometimes they'll end up returning it. And a lot of times they won't. That business model works for me. Would I get more sales if I had free returns? Possibly. Would I have a lot more hassle in my life? Probably. I don't want the hassle, friends. I guess, again, it just depends on how you do things, on how much time you have. Do you have time? If you're doing this full time and you have a lot of free time on your hands where you can take returns and things of that nature, and you have the space, go ahead. Go ahead. And let me know how that goes for you as far as like how many returns you get. I've heard different things. I've heard people say that when they turned on free returns, they started getting massive amounts of return requests. And then there are people who say that they didn't really notice any difference. Me, I don't feel like dealing with it. That's subject to change. I could change my mind in the future and say, you know, I want to start taking returns. I'm going to think about it. But what I have been thinking about doing, because we were talking earlier about how I can start getting rid of some of this stale inventory before I donate it, I think my very last bid attempt at getting rid of selling this stuff is possibly a sale on eBay. And I want to do like a 20 or 30% off sale, but I don't want it to go to like the new items that I have listed just recently. So I have to play around with it and see if there are parameters that I can set. That would basically mean like anything that has been there for X amount of days would go on sale. So I'm going to play around with that and see if I can come up with something to try to get rid of some of this stuff. Okay, how about some controversial topics for eBay? I already talked about two. Handling time, that's a hot topic. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody thinks they have all the answers. Everybody thinks that they are right. We talked about returns and we talked about handling time. How about, do you wash your clothes? Boy, you want to get people pissed off, friends? You want to get people in a tizzy and get people riled up? Let's talk about whether you wash your items before you sell them. I'm telling you. I see this all the time on Facebook. I mean, and these people will go at it for hours and they get really, they really get bent out of shape, friends, over this subject. So I will just tell you what I think and how I do things. As you have probably noticed, I am low maintenance. I intend on staying low maintenance for as long as possible. So it may not surprise you, friends, that I do not wash items before I sell them. We'll pause there so you can gasp. Some people do. Great. And that can come back and bite you in the butt because, oh, well, I have sensitivities. And the laundry detergent smelled too strong. So if you're going to wash your items prior to selling them, definitely you're probably going to want to use an unscented laundry detergent, because there are people out there who have sensitivities. My personal viewpoint, this may sound insensitive, but if you are a highly allergic person, I personally think that you should discuss this with a seller prior to purchasing. If you are highly allergic to dogs, highly allergic to animals or cigarette smoke or scents, shopping secondhand, I don't think is the smartest idea for you. I think it's going to cause a lot of issues. And I think that if you're going to buy used, why not reach out to the seller first and clarify whether they have animals or whether they smoke. I'm not talking about strong smoke scents. My husband, he does smoke. My items are in those plastic totes behind me. I think I've gotten a complaint of smoke maybe once or twice in 15 years. And I think that people just say that because they don't want the item and they're trying to get around it. That's what I truly think. So, but I personally, I do not launder items unless it's clear to me. To me, like, thrift store smell is not a bad smell. I don't know if it's just because I go to thrift stores all the time. It really doesn't smell bad to me. It smells like a thrift store. So but I do think that some people who don't frequent thrift stores, I think that sometimes they get confused with the smell of thrift store, that it smells like smoke. I don't think it smells like cigarette smoke at all. But unless it has like a very strong smell to me, or if obviously if I see a stain, or if it's obvious to me that it has been worn before, then yes, I will launder some items. But I would say 90% of the items that I sell, I don't launder them. I mean, and part of that is that a lot of the stuff I sell, it has tags on it. So like, what are you going to do? I'm not taking tags off to sell something. And even with the used stuff, unless it smells like really, like if it has a smell, I'm not going to iron it. What's another hot topic that people like to bicker about online? We did returns. We did, stock photos. You want to talk about a fight, friends? You want to talk about people really getting up in arms? Start talking about stock photos. I mean, it is amazing. To me, it's almost comical what people will fight and complain about. Like, people will go to the ends of the earth to stand by their opinion, and all of it is just opinion. Most of it is opinion. Legally, it is not an opinion. Legally, you're not supposed to use stock photos, to my knowledge. So that is not an opinion. That's a fact. Do people do it? Yeah, they do it. Me personally, as a buyer, I personally do not buy items that I cannot see the actual item. So if I'm looking for something and all it has is a stock photo, but it's used, I probably will not buy it because I want to see. You know what, friends? That just reminded me when I said that. Let's talk about you as a buyer and condition of items. That's another controversial topic. What is considered good condition? And that's probably a whole different video in and of itself. And this is almost 40 minutes that fast. I'll probably end it after this. I think that people have very different ideas of what good and excellent condition are, right? So I will tell you my opinion, and this is just my opinion. When I put in my listing that something is in excellent condition, and I don't always do that, it really depends on the item. If I say that something is in excellent condition, what that means to me as a buyer and a seller is that this item has no noticeable wear and tear. It looks like it just came off of the hanger at Macy's, and the only difference is that it doesn't have a tag on it. That's my idea of excellent. Good condition to me almost means the same exact thing. Washwear, in my opinion, is not good condition. Washwear, again, this is just my opinion, highly controversial. If it has washwear, to me, it is in fair condition. It is not in good condition. I cannot tell you how many times as a buyer on these platforms, I have been disappointed. I honestly have to say that of the things that I purchase and buy, come here, you want to say hi, honey? Come say hi, honey. Say hi. Say hi, honey. I do buy things, and I have to say that about 50% of the items that I receive, and I am not exaggerating the truth at all here. I am 100% serious. At least 50% of the items that I buy from these platforms have flaws that are not noted. It happens to me all the time. And people will say, oh, well, should I feel bad about asking for a return on this item. I feel bad for the seller. And I used to, and I can't tell you how many times in the past that I would just overlook a flaw because I felt bad for the seller and I didn't want them to lose money. And after that happening a number of times, I finally got tired of it and I don't feel sorry anymore. If I receive an item that has a flaw that was not described or pictured, then I am 100% going to ask for a return. I don't care if I paid $6 for it. It doesn't matter. I expect things to be as they are described. And I think the discrepancy is that people just have a different idea of what good and excellent condition is. This literally just happened to me about a week ago. I purchased a blouse off of eBay. Read the description. It said it was in good condition. I didn't see anything in the pictures that would indicate that there were any flaws. And when I got it, when it came to me, I loved it. It was a cute shirt. I really wanted it. And upon closer inspection, friends, it had stains on the front of it. Now with the, what do you call that? The floral print that was on it. I guess I can see how the seller may have overlooked it. It's very rare that I overlook something. I have to be honest. It did happen to me recently with a pair of pants. I guess the hem had come undone and I didn't notice that. And the buyer, you know, they told me about it and I was like, return it, please return it. And they never ended up returning it, by the way. So I guess I can see how people could overlook some things, but it just happens so often to me that it leads me to believe that people are purposely not disclosing this stuff and hoping that you don't see it. I have a keen eye. I do this for a living, friends. I sell clothes every day, and I try to, as I'm ironing right now, I'm looking at the shirt and I'm making sure that there are no stains on it and things of that nature. I look at it in the store. There's so many steps involved. You know what I mean? When you are listing items, first I iron it, right? Correction, first I buy it from the store. I look at it before I buy it from the store. When I'm ironing it, I look at it. When I'm taking pictures of it, I'm looking at it again. When I'm listing it, I'm holding it in my hand and I'm looking at it. So I just don't understand how people don't see these stains and stuff that come to me. So I did reach out to the seller. I said, hey, you know, I really like this shirt. And I guess, honestly, what I was hoping for, and I really don't even know what I was looking for, a partial return, and that's a whole different subject for a whole different day. Usually it's a no for me. But if it's my fault, if I know it's my fault, and it's a lower value item that I know I'm not going to be... I sell a shirt for $15. It has a stain on it. The customer points it out to me, and they're like, hey, I really like this shirt, but it has a stain on it. Would you do a partial? It's my fault. If it's my fault, sure, go ahead. I don't care. I don't care. You know, by the time you send this item back to me and I relist it, nobody has time for that. But this particular seller, I reached out and I'm like, you know, I like the shirt. But it does have these stains on it, and I sent the pictures. I guess I was kind of hoping for a partial. I guess I would have kept it with a partial. I mean, the stains, I guess they kind of blended in a little bit. I don't know. I just didn't like the response. Her response was basically wash it. She said wash it. She said wash it. Friends, please don't do that. Don't do that, friends. I don't tell y'all what to do, but I am gonna tell you don't do that. Similarly, and of course I ended up opening up a return because no, I'm not gonna wash something that you sent me that has stains on it. And then I saw somebody post in a group a similar item. She received a skirt that was brand new with tags and it didn't have a button. And people were like going off on her in the comments, making her feel like a piece of crap because she wanted to return a skirt that didn't have a button. And these people are telling her things like, oh, it's just a button, sew it on. No, absolutely not. Friends, I'm not sewing crap. I haven't sewn since I was probably 10 years old, okay? And I'm not trying to sew now. I don't sew things that I sell. And I don't sew things for my personal self. And somebody tried to come at me and basically in a very condescending manner, I feel sorry for you that you don't know how to sew a button. Well, girl, I know how to sew a button. Do I feel like sewing a button? Do I feel like going to the store? This wasn't my item. I was just commenting on somebody's post. I'm not going to go drive into a store, a craft store, trying to find the perfect size button. Then you got to find the right color thread. And you got to take the time to sew it. No, thank you. No, absolutely not. I told her, you need to do a return. And the person who sold me the shirt, they hit me with the guilt trip, friends. I shouldn't laugh. It's not funny. But she basically was like, wash it. And I was like, I'm scared to wash it because when you alter on eBay, if I admit that I washed something, then I'm voiding the ability to return it. And I was like, I don't feel comfortable washing this because if I wash it and the stains don't come out, you know, that's going to be a problem. And she hit me with the, I'm just a single mother trying to make some money. And I don't know why, but that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit, friends. You know why? Because we all have a sad story. I have a sad story too. But that has nothing to do with my reselling business. Your emotions and your personal issues have absolutely nothing to do with reselling. I can't believe this is 47 minutes. I have blabbered for 47 minutes. That's crazy. So I guess I'm going to leave it there. But don't get me started on putting your emotions into your business, friends. We got to learn to separate the two. So that's all I have for you today, friends. Some of you said that you liked it. Be honest with me. I can take criticism, friends. This is all a learning experience for me. I'm still new at YouTube. You have to give me feedback. Let me know what you liked. Let me know what you didn't like. I don't get offended. It takes a lot to offend me. Was this video too negative? What do you want to hear about in the future? Do you want to hear about my personal life? Because I could talk about that all day, friends. And I actually have a TikTok. If you like my style, I have to say that I'm a wonderful advice giver. I'm going to pat myself on the back there. People always tell me I give excellent advice. If you like relationship advice, you can go visit me over on TikTok. The Goddess Speaks. There might be some underscores there. I'm not sure. My picture is there. You'll see me. So visit me there. Give me the feedback on this video. I talked about some controversial hot topics. Let me know if it was too much, too little, or just right, friends. And of course, all the commenting, all the engagement. I love it. And if I start, I don't know, as of right now, today, I'm at 300 subscribers. If I start building subscribers, then maybe I will start learning how to edit videos. I mean, at some point, I'm going to have to if I want to grow the channel. So I appreciate all of you being here and watching my non-edited, very basic, very dreary videos. It is much appreciated. Love the comments, love the engagement. Subscribe, tell your friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to come back and visit my channel. Have a good one, friends, and let's make that money.